Hello. 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 Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
That good?
Very good. All right, thank you very much. What a great privilege to be here. I'm from Panama City, Florida, as he alluded to, and so I'm a long way from home, but it has been wonderful to be on this side of the district. My mom's family is from South Alabama, and I see a lot of similarities. Rural counties, a lot of farming going on, timber, and it's nice to be here. Thank you for taking out of your night. You care about your country, and I applaud you. You know, my name is Steve Sutherland, as he said. I am from Panama City. My family has been in Florida since before Florida was a state. My grandmother's family is from Jackson County area, around Marianna. But for the last five generations, my family has been in Panama City. It is in Panama City that we have three businesses that serve the citizens of Gulf County, Bay County, also down some into the Franklin County area and the Calhoun County area. Our family business, the 55-year-old business that we have, is the funeral business. My grandfather started our business in 1955 with a 6th grade education, having served in the South Pacific, the United States Navy, and he came back with a dream, $3,000, to serve this community and serve it well. And so much of the life experience that I have has been in and around our family business. Much of what I know about personal responsibility, I learned through our family business there in Panama City. We learned to work. My father required us to work. If we didn't work, we were disciplined. My father didn't pay somebody to wash the cars. He didn't pay somebody to cut the grass. He didn't pay somebody to take out the trash. That was our job. And as long as we did those things and we met his expectations, we always seemed to have a new ball glove when we needed one. We always seemed to have 20-gauge shells for our shotguns. And we always seemed to have lures and bait in the bait box when we wanted to go fishing. And we didn't violate his expectations, because when we violated his expectations, we violated absolute truth. And that usually came back to haunt us on our rear end. We were made to meet his expectations, and he wouldn't negotiate. Our home was, we had the rule of law in our home. And you know what? We have the rule of law in this country. So my appreciation for law that I have, and we have a lot of laws, we have a lot of constitutional principles that are being violated around this country. Well, that didn't fly growing up when I was a young man, and I believe that should not be flying now from Washington, D.C. Last year, when my family made the decision, we made the decision to run, and I say we, and you will hear me refer to my family, for we are a family that stands and falls together. When you're one of 21 members of a family, and when you work real hard to put food on the table for those 21 mouths, when you're going to step away for a while, you get interested in other people's opinion. So my parents, I have the privilege of caring for in their retirement years through our small businesses. My partner is my sister, Suzanne, and her husband. My brothers are partners in our timber business because we like to cut trees and we like to plant trees. That's our second business. When we made our decision to run, it was based upon a single fact, that we had emphatically, without question, had enough. We had had enough. We've had enough of the federal government stripping us of our personal freedoms and our personal liberties. We have had enough of the federal government, like a raging river that has overflown and flooded over its banks. And now, not flowing within those banks, now that raging river is in our homes. That raging river has now flooded into our business. It has flooded our vehicles. It has flooded our churches. It has flooded everything that I love and I care for and that I would die for. Rivers serve a purpose. Rivers are good for transportation, good for barging goods from one part of the river to the other part of the river. It's good for hydroelectric electricity. It is good for fishing. It is good for recreational swimming. It is good for irrigation. But when that river gets out of the parameter for which it was designed, It is destructive, and it will destroy everything that it touches in the homeland. I believe that not just we, our family, has had enough, but I believe you have had enough. And I believe this year, the American people, and I believe the sleeping giant, because we have been asleep, we will wake up, and we will grab our sandbags, and we will push that raging river back to within its banks. The river has a purpose. The river primarily should be here to protect us, to provide security, so that the life, the liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that are given to us not by a country or a government, those were given to us by God, by the one who created us. But unfortunately, that river, we don't push it back. We will not be able to pursue those things. So this year, I believe, we're going to go attack that river. We're going to push it back. I'm concerned with a lot of things in this country right now. First and foremost, I'm concerned with our economy. I'm concerned that this economy and this federal government is not operating like I operate my business. It is not operating like I operate my family budget. Susan, my wife, and I, we started first grade together. I have been with her my whole life. She is my best friend. She is my soulmate. We have been married 23 years. And with God's blessing, we will die together. And in our family, we have limits. We have to live. We have to raise the 4 daughters that we have, Samantha, Stephanie, Allie, and Abby, based on a budget. Last Christmas, we made a difficult decision. We said we can't spend as much for Christmas for our children because it just wasn't there. And if we were not going to go out and put it on a credit card like the federal government is doing with China, that wasn't going to happen. We were going to pay cash. We were going to spend within our means. And the night of the 25th, when we went to bed, we would go to bed with everything paid for. So we lived within our means. I believe our federal government spending has increased 20%, while your family budget has decreased 20%. My business budget has decreased 20%. Government is growing and metastasizing, and it is like that river that is flooding this country. And it will kill this country if not abated and pushed back. I believe because of the spending that is being sucked out of small businesses, and being a small business owner and having 3 small businesses, I understand that if you take tax dollars away from me, if you take regulation dollars away from me, if you regulate me, you tax me, you tax me, you tax me. Somebody said, well, Steve, sounds like he's vague on taxes. I'm a small business owner. So let me end that right now. Let there be no vagueness. Taxes are the tool of redistribution of wealth. They will take my money that I will work 80, 90 hours a week for, and they will give to people that will sit on their rear ends, and they will not work. And I despise that tool being used. I despise that tool, and I and my family, we have emphatically had enough. It bothers me that we are running record unemployment. 13% in the great state of Florida. I believe when you factor in underemployment, the people that have left the workforce altogether, I believe we will go over 20% of unemployment. America has always worked. We have always had the appreciation of work. We have always been, and I believe we should always be, a Judeo-Christian nation. And it is the Judeo-Christian God who always, in the Garden of Eden, before the fall, there was work. He has always honored work, and I tell my daughters, girls growing up in this house, you will work. Before the fall, there was work. We've got to get America back to work. If we're not working, we can't buy homes. We can't buy cars. We can't send our children to college. We cannot pursue happiness. Happiness. And that was a gift that God gave us. I look forward to visiting with you. God bless you.